Over time, there have always been transitions between the era of curved design and the era of sharp design. In other words, rounded corners versus sharp corners. I would say each of these eras usually lasts approximately 12 years. But this motorcycle was an exception. Every surface screams 90s. Probably the roundest Ducati 900 SS ever. No wonder its design has aged quickly. But today's project achieves a perfect symbiosis. I would say it is an example of ideal balance between the two eras of design. Welcome to Racer TV. This is probably the most consensual custom Ducati of all time, and it looks absolutely brilliant. I know it won't please everyone. In fact, it is extremely rare to find a project that satisfies all tastes. But this one is undoubtedly very good. I would say that all sections evoke a feeling of coherence. But I'll talk about that in a bit. This incredible project is the latest work by Argentinian Sebastián Rochon, founder of SRC, located in Brazil. I must confess my surprise when I discovered this project came from a Brazilian workshop. Because Ducatis are rare in this country, and finding a customized one is like discovering Jeremy Clarkson celebrating the birth of electric cars. I found this engaging project on Instagram by accident. The first thing that crossed my mind was wondering if this would be a new Ducati model. And if I thought that myself, a lot of people will probably think the same. This means the quality of this project is really very good. As you already know, the construction process started with a late 90s 900 SS, considered by many to be a more domesticated Ducati. But with its rounded design, it did not last more than 4 years. I'm not saying it's an ugly bike. The problem is it was launched too late, when rounded corners were starting to stop being the trend. And it is precisely at this point this project becomes so interesting. As I said initially, it is an example of ideal balance between rounded and sharp corners. And at the same time, it has a certain vintage touch, mixed with some very modern details. So, was it an easy transformation? Obviously not. Although the overall appearance conveys a certain simplicity, there were several advances and setbacks during construction. But let's start with the fairing. Believe it or not, it is based on the original factory fairing. If you look closely at this photo, they covered the headlight opening, adapting the hole for the new round headlight. But the most interesting thing is the way they finished this section. Instead of covering it, Sebastián created this beautiful air intake. A very simple detail that makes all the difference. In case you haven't noticed, the fairing visor has also been slightly cut in order to keep everything more proportionate. While this lower section may appear to be based on the original fairing, interestingly, it is a piece made from scratch. and it was designed to fit into the original holes in the top section. It is not made of fiberglass. Everything was made on a 3D printer, including the entire rear section. As you can see, the initial design of the rear was very different. I believe Sebastián was trying to get some lines from the racing bikes of the 70s and 80s. But after a while, he found that this side section was a little too big. The ideal solution would be to cut it a little, to make the bike visually lighter. The problem is the subframe would be too visible, which had already been changed previously. And so he modified the subframe again, achieving a simpler structure and an apparently lighter rear end. And I have to admit, the rear is spot on. It looks modern, but with a certain vintage pedigree. And this round rear light is simply the icing on the cake. Another interesting detail in the shape of the rear is the way it fits in with everything else. Notice how the tail is aligned with the top of the fuel tank, and these protrusions that match the tank and the fairing. Everything was really well thought out. In fact, it is so well designed, it even looks like something that came from the factory. Speaking of which, another interesting thing is the license plate support. A very elegant piece with some 3D printed accessories, including the turn signals. Simple, discreet, and very professional. And this leads to another question. Where are the front turn signals? To be honest, they are so well hidden, I only saw them after writing the text about the rear section. And here they are. I bet you hadn't seen them either. The rear view mirror brackets are obviously custom made. But according to Sebastián, they will have to be rethought to improve visibility. As far as the red color is concerned, I must say it is not a color for every motorcycle. And this also applies to cars. But on this Ducati, red fits like a glove. And these yellow details help to give it a more racing vibe, but without exaggeration. Interestingly, with this timeless design, you can't tell it's a 25-year-old motorcycle. Essentially, every detail of this spectacular project screams good taste. And from what I saw on SRC's Instagram, it seems that good taste is relatively common in his work, which means we will probably have a future video with another one of his magnificent projects. Thank you for watching Racer TV. And as always, I hope to see you on the next video.